Hello guys and gals, and welcome back to another episode of SOG. Yes, it's that time of the month again! Like always, but this time it's special because we have got the official sequel to Sonic.exe. Yes, Sonic.exe, Electric Boogaloo, has arrived. So sit back and enjoy this especially amazing episode of SOG as we take a look at it. Sonic.exe, once again, Electric Boogaloo. It's been more than a year now ever since the Sonic.exe murders began to happen, and the police department still doesn't know who's doing it or why it's happening. The first murders looked as though the killer did a sloppy job at it, but over time the killings, or at least some of the guys back at the station thinks it's just the killings, have gotten more elaborate. Bodies have been starting to look like the victims just dropped dead or there were disappearances. One thing is certain. All the victims seem to each have a burned, destroyed computer with some data from a game called Sonic.exe. None of us found any connections or clues that could help us learn why all this is happening. Well, no, that's not true. There was one cop who may have uncovered more about the murders than we did. The guy's name was Derek Green, a really good detective, mainly because he was always teamed up with his sister Chelsea. They were assigned to investigate the Sonic.exe murders. I should know because I was their boss at the time. They're both dead. Sometimes I wonder if I should have helped them. I don't know. Anyways, the boys have found Derek's diary when we investigated his apartment. He hasn't been in his home for weeks. The diary recorded all of what Derek found in his investigation. My God, did he write down a lot. Especially after the chief of police took him off the case. And a lot of what he wrote down seems to connect a lot about what's going on with these murders, at least I hope he was onto something. Here's what Derek wrote. 7:30 p.m. September 15, 2011. Happy birthday to me. I got this diary as a gift from my sister Chelsea. This will certainly come in handy when we both do another investigation. Oh, I forgot to tell you. Name's Derek Green. I'm a detective. Wow. I'm not really good at this. Hopefully I'll get better as I write in this. Anyways, I'll let you know if anything else happens. 11:22 a.m. October 24, 2011. Wow, pretty interesting way to start off a case on Halloween. Our boss told us there's a stiff in one of the local suburbs and he wants us to check it out. Damn. Been a while since me and Chelsea tackled a murder case. This will be interesting. We're in the truck right now and we're headed out for the house. 2:30 p.m. Jesus. Whatever happened in this house? I wasn't expecting it. The victim looks like someone ripped his mouth open and tried to yank something out from inside. I've seen a lot of messed up ways to kill a person, but this is rather strange. I don't really think any normal person would do this. The cop present at the crime scene told us that the kid was like this for 2 days, and his parents just discovered the body and called us in the morning. What's really weird about this is that there's a badly made cut on his chest that's shaped like a number 1. Chelsea told me she found a possible clue to the murder. She showed us that the victim owned a computer. The computer's badly burnt and wrecked. Both me and Chelsea have a theory to this. Either the killer destroyed the computer or the victim did it himself. Either way, we sent it to the station for research. 6:10 p.m. Alright, the guys from the lab had the report. They told us that the computer's wrecked from inside and out. And what I mean by that is that everything that was on this kid's computer is completely deleted while at the same time the computer got destroyed. The only thing that seems to still be in the computer is some data from a computer game called Sonic.exe. 4:30 p.m. November 11, 2011. A couple more murders these last few weeks, all the same killing method, dead bodies, torn open mouths, destroyed computers. The more recent killings are looking less messy, as if the killer's being more careful with tearing out whatever it is he's tearing out from inside these victims' bodies. There are also cuts on the victim's chest that seem to be in numerical order, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. The killer seems to be keeping count of all the people he's killing. 8:30 p.m. Had dinner. Both me and Chelsea are brainstorming with what's been going on. It's really strange. The fact that computers are getting destroyed every time there's a murder victim, and we find that there's some old data from the same game, Sonic.exe. That name reminds me of all the times me and Chelsea played some of our old Sonic the Hedgehog video games. I remember when we used to play Sonic Heroes. She always liked playing as Rouge the Bat, and I always liked playing as Vector. But it's weird. What does a Sonic game, a possibly fan-made one at that, got to do with all these killings? 2:45 p.m. December 2nd, 2011. Another murder. Big surprise there. But now both me and Chelsea agree that all these murders are connected with that game. Maybe the killer made it as his calling card. The chief told us not to worry so much about a simple video game and just stick with what's going on with the murders. 6:30 p.m. Autopsy came in again. The doctors told us that aside from the wounds from the chest and mouth, the victims don't seem to show any signs of a murder or a struggle. In fact, as baffling as it seems, all the victims appear to be in perfect health. Apart from the fact that they're dead, you know. I air-checked the word dead because that's where the report came out really disturbing. The doctor said they're all in what appears to be in a persistent vegetative state, meaning that these people are in fact still alive. Their brains and hearts are still working, but they're all in an empty, dead-like state, as if something robbed them of their minds or sense of self. Chelsea stated that it was probably one of the freakiest things she's seen in her days as my partner, and I don't blame her. Who would be capable of actually stealing someone's sense of self? It's like the devil is handpicking innocent people and robbing them of their souls for eternal damnation. 5:42 p.m., December 14, 2011. Chelsea's been acting very strange lately. She seems quieter at work, and whenever we go home, she goes back into her room. I'm guessing she's just as determined to learning about this case as I am. If she's onto something, I hope she lets me know first before we make it official. After all, you know, we are a team. 2 p.m., December 19, 2011. Chelsea didn't go to work with me. She said she wasn't feeling well. I'm starting to get a little worried for her. Ever since we took this case, she's been acting rather odd. I don't know, maybe I'm overreacting. Boss told me not to worry about it and maybe just look into what she was researching on. You know, I might just do that. Also, several news about people worshipping this guy recently. Calls himself X. I swear the things kids will be into nowadays. 9:30 p.m., December 24, 2011. Almost time for Christmas. Though I don't know if I should celebrate. Chelsea's been shut up in her room almost every day, not responding to me. Hope she's alright. Anyways, I've been looking into Chelsea's work, and I think she might have found something. Apparently the killer must be going after anyone who plays the Sonic.exe game, and once they've played the game, the killer tracks them down, kills them, and keeps count by carving the numbers into their chest. But what about the fact that almost every victim looks like they've had their soul sucked right out of them? Wait a minute. I just remembered something. A few days ago, Chelsea came home from the store and went back into her room. She said she found her new game. Oh my god, Chelsea! 12:32 a.m. The writing is a bit sloppy in the diary, and there are tears splotched here and there. Chelsea's dead. She found the game. Oh my god, why? 4:30 a.m., December 25th, 2011. I called the guys back at the station to help me move Chelsea. God, why? Why her? Did the killer find out and try to cover his tracks? No. It doesn't look like anything's been taken or destroyed. Well, except for the computer. And the game's still here. I wanted to keep it to find out why this happened, but the chief demanded I hand it over to him. The way he asked for it's really odd, as if he doesn't want me to do anything to the game disc. The funeral for my sister will be prepared in a few days. I can't believe that Chelsea, my own sister, is gone. When I found out who killed her, I'm going to make sure he pays dearly. 4:30 p.m., December 28, 2011. Came back from the funeral. God, I'm a mess. Thankfully, Boss was there for me. He's the only person who ever supported me and Chelsea. I'm glad he's on my side about this case. A woman came to me in the funeral party. Her name is Shannon Goldman, and she was supposedly a representative for the Cult of X, as she called it. She told me she was sorry for my loss and pulled out some weird religious crap about X wishing me a happier year. Seriously? Who's this X guy anyways? She told me that soon X will make things better for the whole world, which pretty much ended the conversation right there. Woman's crazy. Anyways, more news about the Cult of X doing more crazy stuff. Wow. Whoever this X guy is, he's making such an impact on the public as the killer is. 2:20 p.m., January 2nd, 2012. Another murder. Jesus, this guy's never had a break. With what he does is just like the 20-second killing. What is he trying to gain from killing all the people? And how the hell is he getting away with this so goddamn easily? I gotta know what Chelsea's finding. She was onto something. I know it. Maybe if I look around her room, I might find a clue. 5:30 p.m. Well, whatever Chelsea found, she left a lot of good clues for me. The computer isn't entirely broken. In fact, it seems like it only got beat up a few times. But surprisingly, it works like new. I'm actually surprised I didn't see anything like this last night. But then again, if you lost someone you love, you too would lose sight of very important details surrounding you. Anyways, I checked the computer and there's an icon for the Sonic.exe game on her desktop. Oh my god, how the hell did Chelsea even get this? I guess it doesn't really matter. What's really important is what I found in her notes. Apparently Chelsea was terrified of the game, something that the game scared the crap out of her. Apparently something, I don't know. In fact, according to what she wrote down, she made it seem like the game is cursed or something, but that can't be the case. There's no way a computer game would harm anyone, right? 7:12 a.m., January 3rd, 2012. Okay, I changed my mind. Maybe there is something spooky about the game after all. Last night I had a dream. No, a nightmare. More like I remembered. Well, Look, I was trapped in darkness. Everything was quiet except someone was laughing and talking to me, having visions of Sonic the Hedgehog smiling and appearing all around me as he talked to me. He told me to play the game over and over again, each time sounding more impatient, and when he got to my face and yelled, "Play it!" that's when I woke up with a fright. Why would Sonic want me to play a game that possibly killed my sister? 3:30 p.m. Another murder, number 24, and the cult of X seems to be pestering the public more and more. What's their deal? Don't they realize that there's a killer on the loose? Wait a minute. What if this X weirdo is the killer? It would make sense. Ever since these murders started, this cult's been hanging around recruiting more and more people, and this X character they're worshipping, who is he? Why is it that this cult even started after several murders took place? I looked over Chelsea's notes again and she seemed to agree with me. Apparently X has something to do with the Sonic.exe game. Did he make it? Did he somehow get a hold of it and thought, hey, if I kill people with this game, people will like me? If what X is doing is real, then something is seriously wrong here. 6:30 p.m. Unbelievable. The chief of police came over to my apartment a while ago and told me the investigation may be too much for me to handle, and he said I'm off the case. What the fuck? I practically found a lot of evidence for it, and he told me that I shouldn't continue on. He also said that Chelsea would have wanted me to quit with this after that happened. Bullshit! Whatever. I'm not gonna let some fathead stop me from solving the case. I'm gonna find out who X really is and why he's doing all this, and I'm gonna turn him in. 5 p.m., February 8, 2012. More murders. We're up to 28 now. The boss contacts me about it every now and then behind the chief's back. He told me that whoever is causing all these murders is one smart son of a bitch. Can't blame him. As much as I hate to admit it, I have to give X credit for being able to kill 28 people so far. Yep. But he's not gonna get away with it. Anyways, I looked over Chelsea's notes again, and if what she wrote down before she got attacked was very odd. Nonsensical stuff about a Sonic plushie always watching her, spying on her? I never saw a Sonic doll in the apartment. Then again, I never questioned my sister's sanity. She was always a smart one in things, and it just pains me to realize how broken she was just before she died. I didn't tell the boss about X or Chelsea's notes. I know you won't believe me. Nobody will. I guess if you have to solve a case, you gotta do it yourself. 8:30 p.m. Someone sent me a friend request on my Skype. He called himself Cole. He said he can help me with the case, but only if I trust him. I really don't have a choice. I'm willing to do anything to put an end to this. Anyways, Cole told me that I first have to get the files of all the victims in the Sonic.exe murders. That's what the news is starting to call them now. That the police has confirmed the old game data in the computers as evidence. Later on tonight, I'm going to pay the station a little visit. 11:45 p.m. Jesus, what a close call. I just made it back from the station. I managed to grab all the files, and I had a run-in with the chief. He asked what I was doing back at the station. I lied and told him that I was to pick up a few things from my office and decided to take some time off. Thankfully, he believed me, but it's strange. The way he talked to me sounded like he didn't believe me in the slightest. Anyways, I got the files just like Cole asked. I told Cole that all the victims had the same occurrences. All of them were dead. All of them were in this dead-like state, as if their souls were taken out. That they were all numbered, and that each computer the victims had were somehow destroyed and had Sonic.exe inside their hard drives. Cole said there's a reason why all the victims had Sonic.exe in their computers, and boy did I not like the answer. The cult of X is involved. Shocking! Their members, after someone gets killed, steals a game disc the victims had at the time and hides it away for a while until it shows up later on a random place to easily obtain it. These random locations can be anything: a game store, pawn shop, black market, eBay, Craigslist. Random yet seemingly harmless deliveries. Anywhere that involves buying stuff. That way, when the next potential victim finds it, he or she becomes a new owner of the Sonic.exe game until X comes to kill them, and then a member of the cult comes to steal away the game disc again, and thus the cycle begins anew. I asked Cole why the cult's doing this, and he told me that X, the bastard, is clearly some sort of holy figure to the cult, and they will do whatever it takes to be on his good side. What do they see in X anyhow? Why is it they like him so much that they're willing to be accomplices to murder? Or better yet, what kind of power does X have to strike so much terror into people that they'll do whatever he says? 3:30 p.m., March 1st, 2012. I can't hold myself any longer. I had to know what Chelsea found in that game, so I played it. It starts off pretty basic with the classic Sonic the Hedgehog title screen until I started it. Sonic, his eyes had gone black and they were red glowing dots staring at me. Anyways, when I got on the character selection screen, yes, the game apparently has one, I was shown the character lineup: Shadow, Sally, and Rouge. Rouge was Chelsea's favorite character. I chose not to play as her out of respect for Chelsea and chose Shadow. That laugh. It sounded just like the laugh Sonic made in that dream I had. The game started with a level title called Let's Play, and I was shown Shadow standing in what appears to be a hallway of mirrors, with a faint echoing sound of a piano playing a calm melody in the distance. I had Shadow walk down the hall, and every time he walked past a mirror, I was introduced to a more twisted, messed up version of himself in the mirror. His reflection's red markings were oozing red as if he was bleeding, and his eyes were bloodshot to the point where they were red, bleeding and pulsating, and he had probably the most psychotic grin on his face. It's like I was looking at a walking fountain of blood. I had Shadow walk past the last mirror and the music stopped. Shadow was now walking down an empty, quiet hallway. I had this growing sense of dread in my stomach. And then Shadow stopped at one more mirror. He stopped right at it, showing his weird, bleeding reflection. And then, that laugh came again, and I saw that the real Shadow was slowly transforming into his reflection, bleeding and smiling. What the hell kind of game is this? Then the Sonic appeared, with those black and red eyes, red tears coming down his face. He smiled as he looked at Shadow, and then the screen went black and a message came on the screen. It's not like the outside that's important. It's who you are on the inside. That really intrigues me. When I came back to the level, Shadow was sitting on the floor, cradling in a half-fetal position like a child, just grinning that freaky grin. Then Sonic smiled as he looked at me, and then he lunged at Shadow, and the screen going black with a loud, pixelated screeching noise. Gah! I still feel as if I can hear it ringing in my ears. That laugh came again in another message. You're learning more about this better than anyone, aren't you, Derek? What the fuck? How the hell does this game know me? That doesn't make any sense. It brought me back to the main menu, and I saw that Shadow was now on one of those TV screens looking as he did earlier, looking rather mindlessly happy. I had to turn the game off. My head hurt so much from this happening. Was this what Chelsea found, a haunted computer game? And now some guy is using this as an excuse to kill people just to gain a cult? I don't get it. Why is all this happening? Who's X? Who's X? Who's X? Sonic? 4:30 p.m., March 2nd, 2012. I came to the conclusion it's obvious that X is no ordinary human being. In fact, I no longer even think he's human. Cole filled me in about him. X is really called Sonic.exe, named after the game that's been causing all this trouble. Cole Skyped me recently that Sonic.exe had been around long before the game did. I asked him what X was exactly, and the answer unnerved me. Sonic.exe is a monster. No, not the monster you see in horror films or video games. He is a real monster. And not just any monster, apparently. Cole told me that X is a supernatural being from another dimension. How fucking crazy is that? But it's true. It has to be. X has his power to control all of reality in his realm, and he's unable to do the same in our world because he can't enter it. So some long time ago, someone made a game disc that would serve as a window between X's world and ours. Anybody who plays it gets a front row seat of what X's dimension is like. And it's hell. Not literally hell, but pretty fucking close. Over time, after somebody plays X's game, X sends out a plushie of Sonic to act as a spy for him. Then when the time is right, X is able to open the door for a short time and pull people into his world where they are trapped forever. This is how he's able to kill people so easily without anyone noticing. He comes out of the computer, pulls the soul out of the person's body, and then goes back into the computer to retreat into his dimension. There, he can make the soul he captured his slave for all eternity. If I was told about this long ago, I would not have believed it, but now I'm straight up convinced. Everything Cole told me is the truth so far, and right now, I'm writing down all he's telling me, just in case any of this information becomes useful. Just in case any of this information becomes useful. 6:30 p.m. Cole told me that he has to go. He'll get in trouble if he gets caught talking to me. But he says he'll Skype me soon, and until then I'm asked to just write down the names of any potential victims this time. I'm also asked to keep an eye out. The cult's getting suspicious. 4:30 p.m. April 22nd, 2012. 29th murder and no word from Cole yet. I nearly escaped from a few members of the cult and anybody that might be involved. I can't trust anyone now. I need to stay in my apartment more often so no one finds me. This person killed this time was a middle-aged person named Paul. He was very paranoid of the outside world, and anything could traumatize the poor guy. Apparently, he had a Sonic Adventure 2 game to stay sane, and he always played as Dr. Eggman. I bet you X has made this poor man a vegetable in his world by now. May 4th, 2012. I just realized something. Why did the chief want him to get me off the job? Why did he confiscate the game disc? Why is he intercepting every one of mine and Chelsea's moves in this case? I'll tell you why. He's in on this. He's working for the Cult of X. It's the only explanation. He took the game disc, so that way the cult could use it to continue the killings, but the boss, he can't be involved into this too. No. He's been mine and Chelsea's friend for years. No. I don't think he would ever go into this. Matter of fact, I don't even think he knows about what's going on. Damn, Chief, why would you do this? When I uncover this conspiracy, I'm ratting you out. August 12, 2012. Boss call, 2 more murders, 30 and 31. Some kid named Tom hanged himself weeks before he gained a package from his deceased friend, Kyle. Not surprisingly, they both played the damn game. Kyle played it first and passed it on to Tom before X got him. Kyle tried to put up a good fight against X, but he's clearly no match for the Fiend. So Kyle tried to warn Tom not to play the game. But Tom did anyways. X used it as an advantage to mess with poor Tom's head, making him believe that his curiosity and wanting to help others was what caused his best friend's suffering. Tom tried to commit suicide by hanging in order to save himself from X, but apparently it failed. X is not only dangerous and powerful, but he's downright sadistic and insane. He thinks that all the horrific things he's doing is all part of some silly game. X, you monster. Why are you doing this? What are you trying to gain? August 24, 2012. Played more of the game. The level Sally was in was really odd. She was in what appears to be an old, desolate city. The sky in a dull, dark mixture of clouds. Everything all dull, empty, and dead. No music. What was weird is how she was smiling. Maybe she found something good? No, that wasn't the case at all. After I had her run and jump past debris, she reached the end of the level. Sonic. No. X was there. She smiled at him, and he smiled back. Then another message. See? I'm not such a bad guy, Derek. I can be kind when I want to. Then it showed X holding Sally's hand, smiling warmly at her. She looked different now. Her eyes were sewn shut and her color palette seemed darker. X gently placed his hands around his head. I really do love humans, Derek. So much fun to play with. In fact, I guess you could say. They're the ultimate toy. X was shown, close up, wide mad grin, violently slapping Sally's neck. She was still smiling as though she didn't feel any pain from it. I almost gagged at that. The main menu showed Sally in her TV screen. She's still in her darker state. She's still smiling. She couldn't have possibly enjoyed any of that. 8:30 p.m. Cole just called me. He said that all the characters he plays in the game are all of X's slaves, turned into horrific parodies of Sonic characters. Or at least, turned into their own favorite Sonic characters. And X sets them up randomly in each game to show us humans what's in store for us. Wait. Oh god, no. No, I won't do it. I won't play the game just to watch you harm her, X. Fuck you! August 25th, 2012. More information on X. X has 7 guardians ruling over his world alongside him. They're essentially extensions of X himself, made from the power combined with powerful emotions of humans. Each guardian is named after the emotions they were born with. Kido, Prayer Raishu, Sorrow Gikido, Rage Kirai, Hatred, Kafuku, Happiness, Kyofu, Fear, Yokubo, Desire. X created these beings to not only maintain order in this world, but to cause trouble in ours. To corrupt humans and make them more susceptible to X, snatching them away by manipulating their emotions. For example, Gikido could bring out your anger and make you violent towards others, and Yokubo could manipulate your desires and confuse you with what's reality and what's not. Plus, Cole informed me that X plans to one day permanently cross over to our world, so that way, his reality will merge with ours, and all mankind will become X's slaves for eternity. But how does he plan to accomplish such a feat? See, Cole thinks that the cult is planning things, they're thinking up ways to make it so, but so far none of their attempts have been successful. Apparently their knowledge in computers is not as superior as the original creator of the disc. I asked why Cole knew so much of this. I don't know what compelled me to ask, but I'm guessing it's been nagging at me for some time. Dear God. Poor Cole. He revealed that he was a member of the Cult of X, but he didn't like what he was getting into and tried to stop them, at least until X got to them first. Now he's stuck in their world. He said he's lucky to have even found me, since the window's still here. Anyways, he's telling me that he has information on how to put a stop to X and the cult's plan. The best ways he knows how to stop X in this track is to destroy the discs. That way, his only way in and out of the worlds will be gone, and he won't be able to cause any more trouble in ours. The Chief still has the disc. I need to prepare in getting it back. 8:42 p.m. X got Cole. I was in the middle of talking with Cole while preparing, and we got disconnected. When it reconnected, Cole's username changed to X, X told me that Cole had been cheating, needs to be punished, and then posted ha over and over and over and over. God damn you, Sonic.exe! My hand is still bleeding from shattering the screen, but I don't care, not anymore. It's time to end this. I'm gonna go get that damn disc and destroy it. If I don't write back after this final entry, well, let's just say whoever finds this, whoever reads the diary, please find it as instructive as you can. Everything you read in my diary is the truth. X is a monster from another world, and the cult is conspiring to help him take over ours. This can't happen. I hope that whoever finds this and tries to put an end to this madness, this is a game on a bigger scale. We're all pawns in an elaborate, chaotic game where the rules are being devised by the minds of a monster. Please do whatever you can, friend. He must be stopped. Goodbye and good luck, Derek Green. That was Derek's last journal entry. He wrote this 3 weeks ago. Today's his birthday. Now he's dead. I wonder why he acted the way he was during these horrible events. I was worried about my friends, but I was never bothered to find out why at the time. I feel stupid. Derek tried to fight this battle alone and I did nothing. I haven't heard from him in 3 weeks. But yesterday I got an email from someone named Cole. It was addressed strictly to Bob Richardson. That's my name. I clicked on it and it was an audio tape that was made September 13th, a day before I got the email. Clicked on it. This is what was on the audio tape. Recording starts, man is grunting, yelling as 2 people are dragging him into the room. Derek states, "Get your fucking hands off me, you crazy cultist freaks." The sounds of high heels are heard as another person walks into the room. Shannon Goldman states, "Isn't that what you would call the Christians and the Satanists, Mr. Green?" Derek states, "Goldman?" Goldman replies, "Derek, why do you deny X? Don't you see what he's trying to do for everyone? He only wants to make our world as happy as he is." Derek says, "Happy? You think stealing souls and turning them into puppets is being happy? Our planet's not his toy box, you bitch." Goldman states, "It's not your place to decide what X wants with humanity, Mr. Green. He's a divine being that wishes to make humanity happy by showing us a paradise that is his world and taking us from the wretched filth of a planet we've been forced to live on." Derek struggles and states, "Some of us actually like the planet, Goldman. X's world is nothing more than a prison. All X cares about is making us his plaything for all eternity. Can't you see it's not fair?" Goldman states, "What do you know about what's not fair?" Derek says, "More than you do, obviously." Goldman states, "You fool! X chose me to be his most loyal because he knew I'd never liked the planet. He knew I wanted to be rid of the stupidity humanity is causing. I'm perfectly okay with being X's slave if it means getting away from it all, getting the peace I finally deserve all this time. And if everyone's gotta go with me, then too fucking bad." Derek chuckles, stating, "Whatever. Doesn't matter anyways, because I'm gonna stop you once and for all." Goldman states, "Oh, are you now? With what, I presume?" Derek pulls out something from his coat. "With this." Several gasps and murmurs are heard. "Cole told me the only way X can enter our world is to collect more souls with this. Well, no more." A loud snapping noise is heard, silence is heard. Goldman starts laughing. Goldman states, "So Cole told you that, huh? Smart boy, but even geniuses get their information wrong." Derek writes, "What do you mean?" Goldman states, "Easy. It's true that X cannot enter our world unless someone places that disk in a computer system, but I'm curious, Mr. Green." Goldman states, "Whoever made you both think that disk is particularly the original?" Derek states, No, that can't be." Goldman, "A brilliant theory, I might add, but I'm afraid it's your last one, Detective." Derek states, No, let me go! You can't do this!" Strange supernatural noises are heard, and the audio breaks up and distorts. A new person walks into the room. X states, "Hi, Derek." Derek writes, No. X states, "Ready for round 2? Loud screeching noises are heard, audio distorts badly, Derek is screaming, Sonic.exe is laughing, and there's a loud tune played sped up in reverse, and a loud, fast, drum-like rhythm booming loudly, as the whole audio distorts and breaks up, finally ending in static. The audio tape ends. After hearing this, I never felt so hopeless. Both my friends are gone, taken from me. There's nothing I can do about this. I'm a useless cop after all. But I hope someday someone, somewhere is able to put a stop to this. To do what I failed to do. I have to hope. I have to believe there's a chance at winning this. Because if there is no hope, no chance, Sonic.exe wins this game. Well, whoever stuck around before losing all the brain cells, this is the longest creepypasta that I have done. Sorry, shitpasta. This is the official sequel to Sonic.exe, though. Pretty big news. You know, this makes the original look like a masterpiece. That will probably be the first and last time you'll ever hear me say that. Now, before we begin, this is a prequel, and I'm saying that because of the inclusion of Tom and Kyle, the beloved duo of shitpostas, and the duo of the original Sonic.exe. Well, for starters, this creepypasta is way too long. Seriously, initially as I was reading this, for the first time, I kept wondering when the end would come, but it just kept tacking on more things to make it more and more grandiose, I believe, adding some nonsense here and some nonsense there. It was written with the intent to be creepy, but it doesn't. It fails in that regard, which I guess is the definition of shitpostas which we are using here. The game seems to change instead of being like the one in the original, and it makes sense according to the lore because, the game does change. It plays on the favorites of the person being sucked in, and it does also somewhat tie in with anti-Sonic.dll, giving this whole other side to the game, with I think a nod near the end with the audio tape as well. Now, the whole thing really added in a lot of things to make it seem huge, but it just ended up confusing the reader. The whole cult, the sibling detectives, which were cool, and really the only thing that kept the numerous ideas together. We get to the investigating, and then we meet Cole, who I guess is this somewhat interesting character. And I swear we understand half the plot twist better than our detective protagonist. He really should use some of that intuition or find a different career choice. Then we get to our protagonist, who is Derek, by the way, who gets sucked into this world, and then we get this laughable dialogue sequence, and finally the end with our overarching character to see this piss of an ending that just sets us up for another sequel. What can I say? That dialogue sequence, I did skip out some things like some slapping and some quiet hush tones, but, moving on, what can I really say about Sonic.exe Electric Boogaloo? Then, wow. It makes the original look awesome. And then it tries to be eerie and scare us with some conspiracies and cults, but I don't think we ever asked for this. Now, I'm not going to be a prick again, and I think it can be really nice if it was really condensed. If you took out a lot of these details. This was getting to be the novel territory. This was about like one chapter of the Godzilla NES creepypasta, and the investigation needs to be more focused instead of throwing, cults in. It could throw a cult in, but character named X, and it tries to be all spooky. You could have just done it in a whole different manner. And then it could have been great. At least it could have been a hell of a lot better than the original. So without taking any more of your time, what would you rate this and what would you change to make it better? This has been another episode of Shitpostas, and if you like what you saw, then like, comment, and subscribe. This is me, Mudahar, and I am out.